Ladies and gents, welcome back to another video. Today we are taking a look at a game that I am actually incredibly excited for. We are looking at a MMORPG called Scars of Honor. Now, I'm going to be fully upfront with you guys. This is a sponsored video. However, if any of you know me well enough, you'll know that I don't take sponsored videos or sponsorships in general from games. I've been looking at Scars of Honor for quite a while, and it's a game I've been following closely purely because of their backstory of the studio and the game itself. As many of you know, I'm making an MMORPG myself, and I'm doing it on a zero budget. These guys did exactly the same. So when they reached out to me and said, hey, we'd love for you to do a sponsored video, I jumped at the chance to do it. Now, with that disclosure out of the way, let's take a look at Scars of Honor. So, what is Scars of Honor? Well, Scars of Honor is an indie MMORPG. It had been in development for 3 years before it really was made public, and before they had looked for any sort of funding whatsoever. This was made purely out of pocket from the developers that started this, and they are only now moving on to funding. The CEO of the company, Beastburst Studios, his name is Venlin. He has actually been working on this tirelessly, and the effort has really shown here. The thing that immediately captured my attention is the art style in this game. So, I have always been a massive fan of World of Warcraft, and this game... Every time I try to sum this up to somebody, whenever I mention it, it's a cross between World of Warcraft and Fortnite. Now, I know a lot of people have just got alarm bells ringing right now because I've mentioned Fortnite. However, I have to say, this is a beautiful art style that they have chosen. It's not too cartoony, but it's not too out of the realm of fantasy. And it just draws the right balance, at least for me. If we just scroll through their gallery right now and have a look at some of these models, I mean, I have to say, let's move me out of the way. I have to say, their art style is just phenomenal. There's just something really endearing and charming about the style that they've gone with, and this may be an unpopular opinion for a lot of people. A lot of people are looking for the newest, highest fidelity graphics and the highest res models, the highest poly count models, that new game engines can handle. But honestly, the art style they've chosen is one that will age brilliantly. The low poly art style is basically ageless. It's timeless. So this is the model of one of their undead characters, and I have to say, I really like it. Even the human characters, which in most games are incredibly boring, like, generally, there's nothing to see here, right? They've gone out of their way to make them interesting and make them different and make them their own. And by the way, I would like to mention, as I've been in talks with these guys, they are using all their own custom assets. Now, currently in their pre-alpha build, there are still some placeholder assets from Marketplace or from other content creators. And honestly, that's okay. Because the style that they're going for, I think tops anything you could get on marketplaces and asset stores. But, that's what they're there for. They are placeholders, and they are using them as such. Now, this is a faction-based MMORPG, and they have currently got 2 factions. They have got the Sacred Order, and their other is Domination. Now, this is essentially your Horde and Alliance, not to draw too many, similarities and comparisons to other games, but essentially this is your Horde and Alliance of the game. Now, the Sacred Order is their heroic faction of the game, with their many races that they've now got, and they are slowly adding more, it seems. They've currently, for this faction, got Human, High Elf, Dwarf, and Baron. I think it's pronounced Baron or Baron. It's one of the two, I can guarantee that. But I have to say, again, I'm not a furry, but I am digging the idea of playing as a Baron. Like, this is what I am here. I'm living for this right now. I can't wait to jump in and play. And by the way, their playtests are actually starting this weekend. And I will have links to that in the description. If you guys are interested, definitely check it out. I will definitely be checking this out and playing it on the weekend, as I'm pretty excited for this. And I'm not sure if there's an NDA on streaming, but if there's not, I definitely plan to stream this. So let's have a quick read of their lore of these Barons, purely because they're my favourite. Unstoppable force. The Barons are the third and last child of Aragon. Large, powerful, proud, and fierce predators. Once challenged, only death itself can stop these brute beings. Amongst everything, they praise the good food and the long sleep. Sounds a lot like me, to be honest. Fools are those who tried to stop Baron from its meal and interrupt its sleep. So yeah, they've got something here about the Baron history, so let's have a look. In the beginning, the Baron race was spread wide and presented only by single nature wildlings. Years have passed and the Barons faced the intelligent and prosperous race of humans who were consistently eating food only several times a day. The humans were not a big and fearful race, but had a way to live a more fulfilled life than the Barons. The connection with the human race caused several wild Barons to learn the powers of speech. This was the turning point for the Barons, who could now communicate with the other races of Aragon. Amongst all Barons, one was truly wise, strong, and respected by all Barons, humans, dwarves, and even the elves, Chieftain Urson. Chieftain Urson is the current leader of the Baron race and a respected member of the High Council of the Union of the Sacred Order. I can't help but be distracted by the animated art in the background. Because these are just like awesome creatures. These are kind of like your Pandaren from WoW, except they don't look dumb. Now, I played Pandaren for a long time in WoW, but I have to admit, they looked dumb. These just look really cool. I love the brutish design of them. And that's kind of what's drawn me towards them. But you don't have to be a brute. Baron racial traits. Tooth and Claw. Reduces enemy armor by 10% for 5 seconds. Other Barons can apply additional stacks. Hibernation. While sleeping, restores 1% health every 3 seconds. So this is kind of like your sit down and heal ability. And just literally go into hibernation. Super cool. Hide of Stone. Empowers your skin. Reducing damage done to you by 20% for 5 seconds. Now, I'm sure the numbers for these will be tweaked and adjusted as testing goes on, but I like the concept. Also, we have available classes here. Warrior, Paladin, Druid, Ranger, Pirate. The fact that Pirate is a class just makes me so happy. I'm going to be a Pirate Bear. I have always wanted a Pirate class in World of Warcraft for years. They eventually added something like that with the Subtlety Rogue, but it wasn't really a pirate. Like, let's be honest, it was just a rogue with guns. Now, if we hop over and take a look at the other faction, Domination. The Domination has some more races that are really enticing, but I always tend to go with the good guys. And Undead, not for me. They look awesome, but the Undead races have never been for me. Orc. The Orcs actually look incredible. They've not copied your typical Orc, but they've stayed true to it in a way. Which is cool, because a lot of games now try to steer so far away from what an Orc was, but they go too far. And then you've got others that just straight up copy Orcs from other games, like the lore and all. It's a no from me. But then, if you want to be a bit of an edgy boy, you've got the Infernal Demon. These are like your D&D tieflings, but like on steroids. These bad boys are a race created by the old gods. They've got very like demonic background. Obviously, they're bloody demons. But I just find it so cool. Like, again, look at the background art. Background art is just so damn good. And again, awesome traits with these guys. Placing a ritual circle for 7 seconds. Fire damage to the targets and slowing them for 30%. Critical strike against humans is increased by 10%. So you've got like some actual counters to the opposite races mixed in with both factions' races. And now we get to see some more classes here. We'll jump over to classes in a bit, by the way. But again, Warrior, Mage, Witch, Assassin, Ranger, and Necromancer. Necromancer and Witch, another two classes that I would just kind of love to see in WoW. I mean, Witch wouldn't really fit, I guess. But Necromancer, my god. Since the early days of Diablo, I have wanted a Necromancer in World of Warcraft. They've missed a trick with this. They kind of tried to merge it into Warlocks, and that was horrendous. It kind of just... Well, it wasn't good. I'm sorry if I draw too many comparisons to World of Warcraft here. World of Warcraft was my baby. That was my game for about 11 years, I want to say. That's quite sad, but it really was. Yeah, it's sad no matter which way you look at it, but it did consume a large portion of my life. But here we go. If we look at the races, they've got the Human, the Infernal Demon, Orc, High Elf, Undead, Baron, Dwarf, and Gronthar. Now, the Gronthar are the kind of like boar pig race. Again, another really creative race that you just don't really see in any other games. This is another one that I'm kind of pulled towards. Now, of course, we're not going to talk about races too much here. We are going to talk about this. Pledge. Crowdfunding. Words that scare everybody. Support the development of Scars of Honor and get early access to pre-alpha test servers. And if we scroll down here, new and unique class race banners. So they've got lots of different stretch goals, including wallpapers, campaigns, environment, game assets. They are week by week updating those placeholders and replacing them as they go. Now, this game is going to be free to play, but as with every game, there are going to be other methods of monetization, and it seems like that is going to be some form of cash shop. Now, that is to be expected with a free-to-play game. We all know this at this point. That is kind of the standard, that is the norm. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. If you're looking for a free-to-play game, you have to accept that they are making money somehow. And the end judgment on this really will be how they monetize the cash shop. Now, the pre-alpha test coming out this weekend is only available to backers of the project. However, with how fast they're moving, I wouldn't be surprised to see this game available to the wider audience quite soon, to be honest. So, I guess it's time to explain why this game captured my attention. And without plugging myself too much in this video, as it is again a sponsored video by Scars of Honor. As many of you know, I am developing my own MMO, Nightmare World. A lot of you are very aware of that, and the developers of Scars of Honor are very aware of that, and that is why they reached out to me, because they figured I would be interested, as they are following the same approach to this. Now, from the questions I've asked their development team, they are building all of their systems from the ground up, including, and this is the impressive part to me, including their networking solution. Now, many new MMOs come out and fail pretty damn fast, and I will explain why. They are paying to use a networking solution, and there is a massive hype on launch, and every game has a bit of a lull afterwards. This happened with New World, this happened with WoW, this happened with pretty much every game. Massive hype on day one, or week one, or month one. And then it tapers off when people are like, okay, I've had my fun here. Now, what doesn't really taper off after that first month is the server costs. And they find themselves in a spiral of debt. A lot of games do. The smaller indie MMOs definitely do. And we've seen them come and go thanks to this. Scars of Honor are building their own networking solution. That is the bit that truly excited me, because if anyone understands programming, that is a mammoth task. That is a commendable accomplishment. It truly is. And after talking to them, they are full steam on this concept of building their own networking, and with the multiplayer test coming out this weekend for the pre-alpha release, they're pretty much done with it. Now, Nightmare World, as you'll see in a devlog coming soon, are also going that route. We are scrapping our pre-built solution by another company, because eventually costs will pile up, and we want to have the cost removed. This game is taking every precaution to keep costs to operate to a minimum while delivering the best experience that they can. That seems to be their goal with this, while also trying to bring back the good old fun of MMOs. The glory day, so to say. This is advertised as an old school MMO, and that truly excites me because we don't have many of those anymore. And I know a lot of people are like, well, it can't be old school if it's just been released, but we're talking about capturing the vibe and the feel of a game. The gameplay loops, the sense of accomplishment only when you accomplish something, and those bits in between being a build-up to that excitement. So from a developer's standpoint, I can see this game doing very, very well. With the support behind it, I can see this being a very good beginning for the game with an even better future just down the road. Also, as chance would have it, Scars of Honor have also released a new video. Scars of Honor upcoming test, date and features reveal. So we're going to take a quick look at this and get some in-game footage, as I know you guys are going to want to see this. There's no point just looking at screenshots, right?
What is going on, Scars of Honor community? We have an exciting announcement to make. The moment you've been waiting for is finally here. That's right, we will be hosting our next playtest from the 24th to the 30th of October. And all you have to do is to either purchase or upgrade to a supporter or honored account. With that out of the way, let's jump right into the new features. We are proud to present for the very first time our mounts. The horse mount.
I know I've said this once before, and I promise I will try not to keep saying it. I'm just really in love with the art style. This is very... The environment is kind of what we're looking at with our game. So me seeing this and just seeing how clean it is, because nowadays you rarely get these clean art styles where things in the distance are... They've got good silhouettes and are readable. It's kind of hard to explain it from a non-game developer perspective because that's the way we look at it. But just the cleanliness of the art style and simplicity, I love it. It's just stylized without going too far.
Your noble steed. It will be free to use for everyone from the Sacred Order during the tests. The bear is a fierce creature, but a reliable ground mount in your journey. It will be free to use for the Domination faction akin to the horse. The Turbo Snail. Its looks may deceive.
I love that snail. Like, the weird mounts in games have always been the ones that draw me in, and this is no exception. I'm gonna try and get that guy if I get a chance to stream it.
But it's actually quite the speed beast. It's a playtest exclusive mount that will be available to purchase at our shop. And last but not least, the one-of-a-kind fish water mount. It will make your aquatic transportation less...
Okay, so I might have been wrong in my previous, in what I previously said. It's available for purchase in their shop. So, from what I was looking at, in fact, let me just double check this. There we go, shop. I knew there was a link somewhere. So let's take a look. The new monthly limited versions of the water and ground mounts are here. So yeah, it seems like what they have here is really reasonable. The Turbo Snail mount is 15 euros, 10 euros for the aquatic mount. But you can get mounts without paying for them. Like, these are basically cosmetic overrides for the base mount. So yeah, they've got to raise their money somehow. And again, with a free-to-play game, as it will eventually be, it's kind of to be expected, and they're reasonably priced, so you can't even really be too mad at that. A lot of games nowadays are charging $50+ for a mount, and it's kind of sickening.
...of a hassle. Also available to purchase at our shop.
One thing I will say is, this game has underwater mechanics, which they've kind of already beaten New World on day of release, essentially. And I believe they go and show off some swimming as well, more water mechanics. One thing I will say is, I've never seen a game actually get, like, the underwater camera aesthetics to look right. And as I say, this game is very early in development, so I'm sure that is on their list of to-dos, but obviously not high priority right now.
The exclusives will have 3 unique skins up for sale at shop.beastburst.com starting today. All of the purchase mounts are yours to keep forever and will carry over in all feature tests, including the final version. Make sure to check our shop often because we will be rolling out new mounts every month. That will be available for purchase only for a limited time. The orcs and humans were starting to get lonely, so in order to keep them company, we've added 2 new playable races, the undead and dwarves.
Oh, we didn't get to show off the dwarves, but I am a fan.
What else does an MMORPG need except for mounts and a big variety of races? If you answered quests, then you were right.
Another thing the painterly map style that isn't too cluttered. Love it. If you're opening a map to navigate an MMO world, you want it to be readable and want it to be clean again. I think this is the way I'm going to sum up this game. It's clean. It's beautiful.
Another important functionality that we added in the past months is the party system. Now you can group up and write in the party chat.
Everyone needs a party chat. Now, a lot of people are going to look at this and say, they're just showing off basic MMO features, and yeah, I agree, they are. However, they are doing similar to what we're doing in the sense that they're documenting everything. They are documenting their step-by-step, and they're showing warts and all, right? They're showing them going from essentially nothing, not nothing, but they're showing from their state of 3 years of pre-development to now. And I like companies doing that, and I wish more would do it. Most of us don't get to peek behind the curtain, and it can be kind of traumatizing for some of us to get that peek behind the curtain, especially if you don't know game development. You look and you think, well, that's a basic thing. It kind of is, but they're not claiming it to be anything but that, which, again, can't complain at that.
To wrap up this announcement, we're happy to tell you that the days of walking underwater are over. We have implemented a swimming mechanic.
Amazon's quaking in their boots.
As you can see, we've been quite busy at Beastburst Entertainment, and we hope that you enjoy every new implemented feature. Stay tuned for the additional announcement where you will learn more about the next playtest. Till next time, and see you on the flip side.
So there we go. 24th of October to the 30th is their playtest date. So, like I say, guys, I am personally very excited for this game, and I wish them the best of luck going forward, because I really am excited to be playing this game when it releases, and maybe even in the pre-alpha this weekend. Who knows? So yeah, there we go. This is Scars of Honor, a MMORPG, old school style game. Hopefully this is something that takes your guys' interest, and hopefully it's something that you want to test out and want to play. Even if you guys aren't interested in supporting this game, check out the links in the description below, and at the very least, give them moral support. That means a lot more to game studios than you could ever know. Trust me, I know that much. And again, a massive thank you to Scars of Honor for sponsoring this video. As always, a massive thank you to the patrons. The support from you guys never goes unnoticed, and I appreciate it way more than you could ever know. And as always, if you're watching this video live as it premieres, I'm going to be live over on Twitch after this video, playing some games, hanging out and chatting with you guys, so drop over and say hi. If that's not for you, totally understandable, and until next time, take care.